Good day, everyone. We are Group 1, and in the fulfillment of our subject capstone project, we are going to present our research study entitled Advantage of K-12 Curriculum for the Incoming Grade 12 Student. So here's Mr. OMBOY to present introduction of our study.
Introduction. The Philippines has implemented significant educational reforms, including the converting of its 10-year basic education curriculum to the K-12 curriculum. The K-12 curriculum aims to develop Filipino students' skills in mathematics, science, and linguistics in order for them to be more competitive in the global job market. Students who have a K-12 diploma are more likely to be recruited. The main objective of K-12 program was to improve the students' preparation for higher education and eventually facilitate immediate employability of students after graduation. Department of Education argued in spite of the issues upon K-12 that is more of benefit for young adults and entering the professional world since they would be better and more prepared for higher learning. In short, K-12 provides the fundamental skills required for a job and essential for success in the real world. Here is Mr. Echo to discuss the background of the study.
Thank you, Mr. Omboy. And now, for the background of the study, the implementation of universal kindergarten began in school year 2011 to 2012, followed by the new curriculum for grade 7 in school year 2012 to 2013. This was primarily aimed to strengthen the Philippines' basic education curriculum and increase the number of years of basic education. The new program covers kindergarten plus 12 years of basic education. Under this program, the student will required to undergo 6 years of elementary, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. The current design of our K-12 public education system delivers the following results. After decades of policy, reforms, and targeted improvement strategies on the time graduation has increased inch up to 82%, which states ranging from 61% to 91%. Yet, Alaska Native students with disabilities, Native American, African American, and Latino students continue to graduate at much lower 55, 64, 70, 73, and 76% respectively. Among those students who graduate high school, nearly 25% of them from all socioeconomic groups require remedial courses in college, costing, costing them and their families 1.5 billion a year. The current the current purpose of K-12 is to facilitate the process through which all students graduate high school with the academic and lifelong learning skills to be leaders in their communities and agents of their own success, whether in college, career, or navigating the opportunities and challenges they will encounter in their lives. While each in their community expresses its own values and goals in the choice of it makes around curriculum, pedagogy, and school rituals. This core purpose is shared by districts leading the way of competency-based education. Senior high is 2 years of specialized upper secondary education. Students may choose their specialization based on aptitude, interest, and school capacity. The quality of student subjects in grade 11 and 12 will be determined by his or her career path. Subjects in a senior high school are divided into two categories, core curriculum and tracks. Students undergo the immersion, which may include while you learn, opportunities to provide them relevant exposure and actual experience in their chosen track. And now, for the theoretical framework, we have John Dewey's curriculum theory. The curriculum, according to John Dewey, was specifically structured to create the learners who could effectively navigate the real world. As a result of curriculum, it cannot be regarded as a total abstract ideas, but rather as the human experiences that represents how the child views his or her own world, as well as defining how to interpret a student's behavior. Now, according to Dewey, the four tendencies are social, constructive, expressive, and artistic curriculum will build a balanced sense the person's life lives in. Dewey wanted to use the jobs to link miniature versions of basic life classroom events and activities. And for the second theory, called called cognitive theory, behaviorism has been widely pushed and effectively implemented in program instruction as well strongly advocated and widely utilized in computing assisted instruction and development of education technology. According to the research and experts, cognitive theory is represented by Jane Piaget in 1898 to 1980, Jerome Seymour Brunner on 1915, and David P. Ausubel in 1918 to 2008. Cognitive developmental theory is used in education to increase students' creative thinking, information analysis, and problem-solving abilities using computer-assisted training. It is concerned with those mental processes that are not visible via problem-solving and learning mechanisms of humans. It investigates how the human brain thinks. And now, for the conceptual framework, may we call Miss Marielle Mariñas.
Thank you, Mr. Echo. So for the conceptual framework, as the boxes shown, it shows the input where an independent variable was discussed. Concurrently, the boxes shown the process that survey questionnaire is the data gathering procedure that the researcher will use. And lastly, the output or the result of the study that is advantage of K-12 program for the incoming college students. And for the statement of the problem, here's Mr. RANCE.
Thank you, Ms. Maya. And now let's move on to the statement of the problem. The researchers wanted to know the following question, the answers in the following question. Question number 1. How many students believe that K-12 curriculum has an advantage for incoming college? The researchers wanted to know if the respondents believe that K-12 has advantage in the incoming college students. Question number 2. What are the advantages of K-12 that are dominant for the incoming college students? The researchers wanted to know what are the advantages of K-12 that are dominant that can be used in their studying in college. Question number 3. What is the perspective of the students in the implementation of K-12 program? The researchers wanted to know the reaction of the respondents when it comes from the implementation of K-12 curriculum. Lastly is the question number 4. What are the suggested advantages of K-12 curriculum that can help the students for their study in college? The researchers want to give a suggestion about the advantage of K-12 that can be helpful from the incoming college students. And let's move in. Let's go to the scope and limitation of the research. Let's call on Miss Alliana CALPE.
Thank you, Mr. RANCE. In the scope and limitations, it was stated the general intent of the study was stated, which is to determine the advantages of implementation of the K-12 curriculum for the incoming college students of SFDSS. This study will identify and assess how advantageous the K-12 curriculum would be to the students and the course they decide to pursue in college, and how they think it will affect their future academic performance in the subject area. The researchers will be choosing random grade 12 students of SFDSS as their respondents and have them answer survey questionnaires the researchers will formulate in relevance to the research topic. For the significance of this study, may we call on Mr. Amador.
Thank you, Ms. Calpe. For the significance of the study, this study is to evaluate what are the biggest advantage of the K-12 curriculum for the incoming college student in San Francisco de Sales School, and to observe its effect through the study and the behavior of the student, also to help them prepare for the challenge they might face when they enter college. The following factors will help this research. Administration. This research offers information to the administration about the benefits of the K-12 program for SFDSS to incoming college students. This research will assist the administration of determining how this will impact and improve the teaching strategy in order to preserve the advantage of the K-12 program. Student. This research will assist students in understanding the factor influencing the benefits of K-12 education and how will impact their academic success as a college student. In addition to this analysis, students should be aware of the K-12 objective in our sample. This research study will most likely assist any student at San Francisco de Sales School in comprehending the study about the advantage of the K-12 curriculum. Parents. This research will help them to have knowledge about the benefits their children may pick up or acquire with the K-12 curriculum. Teacher. This study will assist the teachers will understanding and appreciating the value of K-12 education for their students. Future researchers. This research may be as a source of information when doing new study. Otherwise, this information may assist or even encourage those who wish to conduct similar research. The information gathered will aid future researchers in their quest to learn more about the benefits of K-12 education for incoming college students. Now, may we call Ms. Mariñas to present the synthesis.
Thank you, Mr. Amador. So for our chapter 2, I am going to explain only the synthesis of our study. So most of the related studies and literature the researchers had gathered talk about why K-12 curriculum is implemented in the first place by the government. And by doing so, how it is advantageous and helpful in the education system of the country. So according to Montemayor 2018, the K-12 program is to improve the quality of education. And Brianna said that the main objective of the K-12 is not solely to provide immediate jobs for its graduates. According to Benaventura 2019, the K-12 program is to improve the minds and skill of the students, which can help them in determining the course they would pursue in the future. When the implementation of the K-12 curriculum was first announced, it received various reactions from the citizens who openly disagreed and expressed their doubts, but based on the study entitled Perspective on the implementation of the K-12 program in the Philippines, a research review 2019. It was conducted that K-12 program do prepare graduates to complete in their chosen field of specialization by providing them with necessary skills and competencies. So based on the study with the title Preparing High School Students for College, approximately 40% traditional college students take at least one remedial course. A K-12 organization is designed to solve the problem and prepare high school students to enter college prepared to do college-level works. A strong collaborative partnership between K-12 and post-secondary institutions also appear to offer advantages in creating programs that can help alleviate gaps in the college readiness of the student based on a study the researchers had reviewed. So information literacy has become one of the most important post-secondary education in K-12 over the last decade. Newer generation have a wide range of information literacy skills because of this, but majority of the students were self-taught and some got their support from school library media, specialists and subject and public and academic librarians. The low-performing student tended to identify peers as information sources. According to the work of Edmundo 2017, parents should also act like a support and assist the student in preparing for college. It is important to have them as guide with their new work skills requirement. So for the chapter 3, we have Mr. Echo to explain the research design.
Thank you, Ms. Marielle. Now for the research design. Qualitative research design and quantitative research design are two of the most forms of research design. According to Coterie on 2004, research design is a plan, a roadmap, and a blueprint strategy of investigation conceived so as to obtain answers to research questions. According to Creswell 1994, qualitative research may also be described as an unfolding model that takes place in the natural setting and allows the researchers to gain a degree of detail through a active participation in the individual experiences. Liddy and Ormrod on 2001 alleged that quantitative research is specific in its surveying and experimentation as it builds upon existing theories. Therefore, we, the researchers, use a quantitative approach to gather data in order to address the questions about the current state of the study, which is aimed to determine the advantage of K-12 curriculum for the incoming College of Students of San Francisco de Sales. And now, for our research local, may we call on Miss Miss Mariñas.
Thank you, Mr. Echo. So for the research local, this study was held at San Francisco de Sales School or SFDSS that is known for bringing every student from preschool to high school a prestige and excellence. This study was executed on selected grade 12 students for the academic year 2020 to 2021 of SFDSS. This was selected to know the advantage of K-12 curriculum for the incoming college student. So for the research samples, we have here Mr. RANCE.
Research sample. The study target population is senior high school students at San Francisco de Sales School during the academic year 2020 to 2021. Accountancy and the Business Management, ABM, Humanities and Social Science, HUMS, and Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, STEM, are the three academic strands in which the students will participate in senior high school program. The respondents of the research who are completely the survey within the time frames specified by the researchers will be evaluated. As a sampling method, the researchers will use voluntary sampling. The process of selecting people who are eager to participate as a respondents in the study is known as voluntary sampling. Moving on to the instrument of the research, let's call on Mr. OMBOY.
Instrumentation. The instrument used in the study is survey questionnaire. The researchers use a survey questionnaire to gather data that is based from the study. The questionnaire was answered by randomly selected grade 12 students in order to know the first perception of the involved respondents with regard to the subject matter. The questionnaire was created by the researchers' study which applicable to the study. Here is Ms. Calpe to discuss the data gathering.
Thank you, Mr. Omboy. In order for the researcher to know the credible information about this topic, first the researchers conduct a survey questionnaire that has 4 questions for the respondents to answer and for the researchers to examine the respondents' discernment about a research topic. The researchers constructed the question based on its applicable to the study of advantage of K-12 curriculum for the incoming college students. And the researchers, the grade 12 students in SFDSS, as our respondents who are voluntarily answered the survey questionnaire. The survey began and was sent through online and lasted for 3 days. Meanwhile, the researchers started to examine and analyze the respondents' answers. For the next part, may we have Mr. Amador to explain statistical treatment.
Thank you, Ms. Calpe. Statistical treatment. In able to analyze the data that was being gathered, the researchers employed descripted statistics such as a frequency, percentage distribution, and weighted mean. Frequency is used to display the number of intents of each base of the respondent out of the total number of respondents. Percentage distribution is used to represent the sum of all data. As a result, the data collected is calculated by dividing the total or whole by 100. Percent equal frequency over number of population times 100. F equal frequency and equal number of population, percent equal percentage. Weighted mean is especially used when different classes of group contribute different to the overall total. It is defined as the product of the particular observation and the corresponding weight divided by the corresponding weight in the computation. The following formula was used. Formula for weighted mean. XW equal sigma WX over sigma W. XW equal weighted mean, X equal corresponding weight, W equal the value of any particular observation. Now, may we call Mr. RANCE for ethical.
Ethical consideration. The identities of the students who were concealed, and the information gathered caused no harm or shame. Treat students with respect and enlist their help in the study. Moving on to the chapter 4, let's call Miss MARIÑAS to introduce the chapter 4 of the study.
So under the chapter 4, it is where the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. This chapter shows the data gathered of the researchers from the online survey they made. It will show the advantage of K-12 curriculum for the incoming college students. The following data was arranged according to its sequence from the online survey questionnaires. So for the table 1, we have here Mr. Ranson to explain.
In table 1, the table 1 shows that the majority of respondents are under the age of 18, counting for 61% of the total population, where only 4% being under the age of 20. Moving on to the table 2, in table 2, we see the gender. The table 2 shows that the majority of respondents in the given survey are female and the most responsive. It also shows that more than half of the population is female and less than half is male. Next is the table number 3. Table number 3 shows that majority of respondents, 17.5%, desire to take civil engineering course in the college. Architect is the second most popular course where 8.75% of respondents interest in pursuing it. Business course, flight attendant, multimedia arts, soldier, and Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, on the other hand, received only 1.25%. And moving on to the table 4, let's call on Mr. Rufino Amador.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Rance.
Wait lang.
For this table 4,